If you want to make your Sims 4 worlds look more realistic with custom lots, this is the video for you. I'll be showing y'all how to download and install realistic lots in The Sims 4 step by step. Custom lots can completely transform your gameplay, and so I'm going to show you how to properly place them in your game without issues, how to batch fix for custom content for DX11, and give y'all a few extra tips to make sure that they look perfect. Before we get into this tutorial, please make sure that y'all have The Sims 4 and also make sure that you have The Sims 4 Studio downloaded. You want to make sure you have the most up-to-date version of The Sims 4 Studio so that when we get to the batch fixing part of this tutorial, you'll be able to see that in your program. Another thing to mention is that, yes, I know this video is long. For those of you who may be old head simmers like me, you might not need every part of this video, so there will be timestamps in the description box so that you can skip to the parts that you need. But for anyone who is new to the simming community or anyone who is new to downloading custom lots, especially with this much custom content, I would definitely advise you to watch the video in its entirety because there are some things that I let you know in order to make sure that you don't deal with infinite loading screens and tips for saving your game. So please just make sure you watch this video in its entirety. If I do see comments that are questions that I've already answered in the video, I won't respond to those. But if I do see comments that are, you know, genuine questions that you guys might have that I may not have answered in this video, please feel free to put them in the comment section because I will be making sure to answer as many of them as possible. I'm not The Sims Direct, so obviously I might not be able to answer some technical questions, but I am going to do my best to help y'all today. So without further ado, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start off with Alexis Ariel. This outdoor mall was released back in 2022, so we are going to have to do a batch fix before we can actually download it. Once you scroll down, this lot is a big one, so if you're not somebody who has a strong gaming computer, I would not recommend downloading this lot. So I'm going to go ahead and click this because this is something she recommended. This was released before her lot was, or excuse me, this was released after her lot was released. It's something that you can add. I'm just going to hit download so that I can add it to my game later down the line. It's really important to read through the entirety of a post when these creators are sharing their content so that you can make sure you download every single item. This kind of, you know, things are required if you want the build to function correctly. If you don't have Get to Work, wouldn't recommend downloading this build. I have pretty much all of these things, the Insomnia mods, the QMBB mods, the Little Dicka fridges, and the Ravishing mods as well. I'm gonna select the gelato one just in case because I can't remember if I have that, but just better safe than sorry. And then you're going to download the full mod. As you can see, this is a 40 by 30 lot and it's a retail lot, so when you download it to your game, that is what it will activate as. As you can see, this is 1.69 gigabytes, which is a lot. Which is almost 2 gigabytes of mods. So you can either keep this, you can choose not to download it, but it's just something to keep in mind. If you do want more of these realistic looking mods, you are going to have to kind of sacrifice some computer storage. While that's downloading, I'm gonna hop into our next build, which is the Beans build Wendy's lot. It is built on a 30 by 20 lot and dine out is required for functionality. So if you select download here, it will take you to their Google Drive file, and then you will be able to download it anyways. I'm going to go into our next custom content builder, which is Earth2Barb. I've been using a lot of her lots lately, and I wanted to showcase this one in particular because she is someone that links other creators CC when downloading. So for Earth2Barb, you're going to want to go to download, and we're just going to download it for now. I am going to walk through the process of every single person in this video because every process is different and I don't want you guys to be confused. This next one is a build by Jasmine Raditz. She has a Rooms to Go build that I was looking at on YouTube that I luckily was able to find on her Patreon. So if you want to control and click, it'll open the download link in another tab. And as you can see, this is 5 gigabytes. This is not a small build. Remember how I said to check the entire post? I went back and realized that I forgot to download one more thing for the Rooms to Go build. You do have to download this Marquee by SY, Jasmine's brother. So please make sure that y'all downloaded that because I forgot originally, but I'm glad that I checked. Next, we have SoulsisterSims. She is a creator I've been using for a really long time. This is a Sex and the City Carrie Bradshaw apartment, something that, you know, plenty of us might have grew up watching Sex and the City, and I thought it was a cool build that some people might want in their game. So here I'm also going to show y'all, these are the tray files individually. You don't have to download each of these. You can just download the zip file, and that will get you the tray files. You need to select show more, and then when you select show more, here you will see there is a mod section. So you need to download the mods and the trays. A lot of people, when they download Soul Sister Sims, they think that this is the entire thing, but you do need to download the mods. So I'm gonna hit control, and then I'm going to click mods, and it will open up for me a Dropbox link, and you will be able to download this onto your computer. The very last, but certainly not least, is this build by Kiasims. It is a luxury apartment build, and this is a download that is, I believe, just a regular residential lot, but this is something that you can utilize for the for rent pack if you have it, so that you can make it into a rental property. You can download it here. So all you're gonna do, this took us to Mediafire. You're going to select this little down button and hit download, and then hit download again. Now that we've downloaded all of our lots, we should see them in our downloads folder. Before you move them to your mods folder, we are actually going to create some folders for us to put the CC in. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to batch fix all of the CC I add from these builds. Some of these builds are from 2022. Even the ones that are from 2024 do not guarantee that the creators batch fixed every single piece of CC. So this is just something that I like to do so I can be extra careful when adding new custom content to my game, so that I don't run into any issues. Before we move them into these folders that I created, if you're wondering how I did this, they're currently empty. All you have to do is select your right button, and then you can create new folder. Or if you want a quick shortcut, just hit Control, Shift, and N, and then a new folder will be created. I'm actually going to create one more folder, is because I want to be able to quickly batch fix all of the CC at once. So I'm just going to do build by and hit enter, and then I'll save that as a new folder, and I'll show y'all how to fix that later. So for the additional mods that you downloaded, you can go ahead and move these into your mods folder. I'm going to do that really quickly and then get back to unzipping all of these zip files. Alrighty, so I went ahead and moved the Ravishing mods into my mods folder. If you're somebody who doesn't have any of her mods in there, definitely check her out, because she has a lot of other great mods that contribute to more realistic gameplay for me and other simmers. So next we're going to unzip all of these zip files. It's simple as right clicking and selecting extract all. You can hit extract, and once you do that, you will see your files populate right underneath it. You do not need the zip folder once you have extracted everything, because all of the things you will need will be right here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this zip file, and I'm going to do the same thing for every other file that is currently zipped in my game. So we're going to hit refresh, and as you can see, it has populated down here. So I'm going to go through and do that for all of the other builds, and then I will be back to show y'all what our next steps are. Now that you've extracted all of your zip files, I want you to open up 2 additional tabs. One tab will be another downloads tab, and the next tab will be your Sims 4 folder. You can find this by going to your documents, electronic arts, and then the Sims 4. In the reason we're doing it this way is because you are going to have to start moving things into your tray folder. Before you move any mods into your mods folder, we're not there yet. Don't just start copying and pasting the CC into your mods folder. I want you to open up your tray. The tray file is where you will actually put these weird looking numbers, house binary, blueprint. All of this is required in order for the lots to show up in your game. So keep this tray file open for the time being. We're not looking at the mods folder. We already added our required mods in that first step. So we're just looking at our tray files. In the download section, we should have those folders that we created for each of the creators, and those will essentially be empty. So in your second tabs for downloads, go ahead and open up your Alexis Ariel folder. As you can see, it is completely empty. There is nothing there. So you're gonna go back to your first downloads tab where it has all of the unzipped files, and you're going to open up Alexis Ariel Outdoor Mall. So I typically like to start with the tray files because it's the easiest to move. So all you're going to do is open up this folder, select everything. You can either do Control A or just manually click and drag, right click it, I like to cut, and then you are going to paste it into your folders. I already have this file, lot in my game, but I'm going to go ahead and just show it again because of this tutorial. And then you are going to see that this folder is empty, and then you can delete your tray file or tray folder. There's nothing else that you need there. That's done. Next up is your mods folder. So what you're going to do, you can either select this, you can do Control A and it'll select everything for you. I'm teaching y'all some shortcuts for your computers. So just hit Control A. Hit Control X if you want to cut it instead of having to manually click on the right key button. And then you are going to hit Control V and move everything from the mods folder into your Alexis Ariel folder. So I spent hours trying to figure out why I kept getting an infinite loading screen with this build, and it was due to this package file. So please make sure that you delete this package file when you are transferring your things over. I do have a list of other package files that I deleted just in general from other Alexis Ariel builds that I will be linking on my Patreon so that you guys can delete them if you choose to download any more of her builds. Just wanted to save y'all this time and effort that I put in. So please do not say that you're having the infinite loading error after I just told you to delete this package file. So yes, we can continue on with the tutorial.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Once you hit refresh, your mods folder is now empty. You can delete it, and then you can go back to downloads, and then you can delete this entire thing because it's now empty. So that is done for Alexis Ariel. Next on, we're moving on to Beans builds. So we downloaded this Beans build, Wendy's, and I'm going to go to my second tab. I'm going to go back to downloads, and I'm going to open up my Beans builds CC folder. So when you do that, we're going to basically recreate the same steps, opening up Beans build. As you can see, this creator does not put their tray files into another folder. They just have it on, have it out. So all you need to do is select all of these. You can hit Shift and then click it and it'll select everything. And then if you want to cut it manually, or if you just want to hit Control V, if you want to hit Control X, if you hit Control X and then Control V, you can place these into your tray files. So that's it. We just cut it. You can copy and paste it. It's up to you, but just move the tray files into the tray folder. Once that's done, you can open up your mods. Here it says keep. So these are some of the examples for things that you want to keep. If you want the build to work correctly, I'm going to select all of it. You can just manually drag it, or you can just hit Control A. And then once again, I'm going to hit Control X, and I'm going to put it into my Beans Builds CC folder. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to go back to the mods, going to delete my keep file. And then here you see there are even more files for custom content that you can add into your game. So once again, I'm going to hit Control A, Control X, and then I'm going to place all of these into my Beans Builds CC folder that we created in our download section. Now everything is empty. I'm going to go back manually. If you don't really have to do this step, I'm just showing it for anyone who's new. I usually just delete the main folder, but going ahead, and now we can delete this Wendy's folder because we have all of that CC in our Beans build section, and we've already moved the tray files into our Sims 4 tray folder. We have 2 down, 4 to go. If you kind of understand at this point, you don't have to watch the rest of this section. You can skip to the next one. But for anyone who's still kind of struggling, we're going to keep doing it together until we get the rest of these builds in our mods folder. So we're going to go back to downloads. You should see 2 downloads tabs. Next up, we're going to be doing this in alphabetical order. So we're going to be selecting Earth2Barb. So you're going to open up your Earth2Barb folder. You'll see that the folder is empty. We're going to open up our Earth2Barb build, which was the Wall Street's luxury penthouse. And once again, you have your tray file. So you're going to go ahead and select all of these, Control X, and throw it into your tray file. This one I already have in my folder. I'm going to just replace it because I'm showing y'all this tutorial. This part is the most important part that you will see in this video. When it comes to downloading her builds, she has this Word document that you need to open in order to download certain CC links, certain CC that she does not include in her downloads folder. if you do not download the CC that is in this Word document, you essentially will put the lot in and you'll be like, oh my God, 500 items are missing. Why? This is actually a lot more lax than sometimes her Word documents are. I've sat through and had to download maybe 100 pieces of CC in these Word documents with like 50 to 60 different links. So this is something that's super duper important when you download from Earth2Barb. Please make sure that you are opening these Word documents, because if you do not, your builds will be empty or they won't be fully furnished. So you can, as you can see, the little pop-up, control click, say yes. It's no harm. It's just opening up something in the web browser, and then it will open up this page. This is essentially what you need to download in order to have the everything work manually in the game. You can download the merge version or the unmerged version. I prefer unmerged files for the most part because it's easier for me to batch fix them. So if you select unmerge, you can go ahead and hit I agree, and then you can download the file into your game. Once again, it might take a few seconds, it could take a few minutes, but it is required for you to do this with Earth2Barb's lots. Not every one of her lots has this feature, but for the most part, she does have a requirement that you need to have to download certain CC from the creators themselves. So that's something I just wanted to showcase. Thank God it was only one link and I didn't have to sit here and go through multiple, but I did want to showcase that to y'all. And you can delete this now that this is here. We're going to move our mods. So this, once again, every creator is different. There's no right or wrong way to share custom content, but she does have subfolders within her folders. So you will have to manually go into each of these folders and control all. Do not move them individually. Just hit control all, control A, hit control X, and then hit control V to paste them into this mods folder, or to paste them into our downloads folder. So as you can see, the folder is empty. If you hit refresh, it populates. Don't think you did anything wrong. And you are going to have to do this for every single one of the subfolders that she has here. So if you're somebody who's like, oh my God, this is taking too much time, oh my God, I don't want to do it, then don't download the mod, don't download the build. No one's forcing you to have this build in your game. But if you're somebody like me who enjoys taking the time to add certain things and certain realistic builds into their game, feel free to sit here like I'm doing currently and adding this into your game so that you don't have to worry about, building all of these things on your own. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through like I've been doing for the last few minutes, control A, control X, control V, and do that for every single one of these folders. And I'll be back in a couple seconds to show y'all what to do with the added CC that was not included in this folder. All right, y'all. So after about 3 minutes, I've emptied out the mods and all of the CC into my Earth2Barb folder. As y'all can see, this is here ready to go. You can go back to your downloads and delete this. It's really important that you add in this file. If you don't feel like unzipping it, you can still get access to it. So I'm just going to double click it for the sake of laziness. Open this up. I cannot cut this without it becoming like a whole thing. So I'm just going to copy the stuff that's in here. I'm going to hit copy. And then I'm going to paste this into my Earth2Barb CC folder. So you do need to make sure you have this in your folder. If you're somebody who is like, oh, it's too much work, like I said, don't do it. But if you're somebody who doesn't mind the extra work, then go ahead and do it. We have done 3 builds with 3 different creators, and we have 3 more to go. Like I said, it's important to watch this part if you're really new to adding custom builds into your game, because every creator has different, I guess, rules and regulations and a different setup for how their builds are actually shared. So just wanted to kind of, show y'all how to do it properly so that you're not confused when downloading from any of these creators. So next up, we're going to do Jasmine. We're going to open up that empty folder in a second tab. In our first tab, we're going to open up her build, which was rooms to go. So this folder is huge. I think it was like 5 gigabytes or 9 gigabytes, something like that. So we are the tray files are simple. We're going to just cut that and we're going to toss it into our tray, control V. And then the mods folders. So yeah, there are definitely a lot more subfolders in this, but I'm going to once again go through this manually and continue to Control Alt X and place them into this empty folder. Okay, so after about 10 minutes, I've finally gotten all of the CC files that were in those folders into our Jasmine CC files. So just wanted to showcase that. I am going to leave both of these in here. I'm not going to delete this folder. I just want to show y'all why. I don't have intentions of adding these to my game. I'm not going to tell y'all why, you know, keep watching so I can explain. But we're going to go back to our downloads. We're going to go back to our downloads again in this second tab. And something that I forgot to do that you really need to do, go ahead and move this rooms to go marquee into your Jasmine Raditz CC folder, because you are going to need that for the lot to show up properly. We're almost done. We're almost at the finish line. We have 2 more to go. So next up is Kiasims. So I'm going to open up my Kiasims empty folder in our second tab. We're going to go to our Kiasims build, and then we're going to once again hit click the top one. You can hit shift and click it, and then we're going to cut and paste it into our tray folder. And then once you've done that, you can open up the mods. Here she just has one furniture mod, and it has all of the CC files in one place. So this is going to be a super easy one. You're going to hit Control A, Control X, open up that second folder, and then hit Control V. And once again, it's there. Don't think that disappeared. Just hit refresh and everything should populate. Now that you have that, you're going to go all the way back into your main file. You can go ahead and delete this. Oops, sorry. You can go ahead and delete this folder since it's now empty. And then you can go back to downloads, and then we can get rid of the folder now that we have all the CC where it needs to go. Last but certainly not least is our SoulsisterSims. So with SoulsisterSims, she does have 2 separate tray and mods folders. So right here, as you can see, is her tray folder. It's not titled with the Carrie Bradshaw apartments, but that's okay. You're going to go ahead and open it up, and then hit Control A, Control X, open up your tray file, and then hit Control V. And we're going to go ahead and go back to our downloads, delete it. This would be second nature at this point. We've done it about 5 times. And then we're going to open up our second tab, go to downloads, and open up your SoulsisterSims CC folder. Now that you have that, we're going to once again open up our SoulsisterSims blueprint. This is where all of her mods are. And this is another creator that does have the mods in subfolders. So y'all, I know it's a lot of time. I know it's a lot of work. As you can see, SoulsisterSims is also another build creator that does have this decor 0822 file. I'm just going to delete this. You can keep it. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to explain why I'm choosing to delete it in the second or third or whatever part of this video. Same thing that we did in all the other folders, Control A, Control X, Control V, and just keep on doing that. I'm going to go through the process of doing that for all of these individual subfolders. And once I'm done with that, I will show y'all our next step. Now that all of our CC is moved into these folders, I'm going to go back to having my 2 downloads tab. So remember that build by folder that we made originally that's empty? What I'm going to do before I open up Sims 4 Studio, make sure you guys download that application if you have not already. It is linked in the description box. I'm going to move all of these folders into that folder. So I'm going to hit Control, and I'm going to just hold the control button, hold it, and I'm going to select all of the folders that I want to move into this folder. So I'm going to Earth2Barb, Jasmine, Kiasims, and then Alexis, Ariel, CC. I'm moving all of these into our build by folder. You're going to hit Control X and then hit Control V. And all of these folders have been moved in here. The reason I'm doing this is because when you're batch fixing in Sims 4 Studio, it's easier to do it this way so that you can just select your build by folder instead of having to batch fix every individual folder. So I'm gonna go ahead now and open up the Sims 4 Studio so that I can show y'all what that looks like. So the Sims 4 Studio is open. If you're watching this video when it's being, at first release, the Sims 4 Studio 3.2.3.0. If you're watching this months from now or years from now, you do need to update your Sims 4 Studio on I guess a few months. There's usually an update that comes out. So just make sure that you are updating your Sims 4 Studio, because it's not going to make or break anything, but they do release certain batch fixes with updates. So if you for some reason are going to content management batch fixes and you don't see update images for DXL 11, you might be using an outdated version of the Sims 4 Studio. So you can update it. The link in the description box will have the most up to date, or at least you can find the most up to date from the Sims 4 Studio website. So what we're doing here, I know it can look overwhelming. I know it looks like gibberish, if you've never seen it before, but we're not worrying about anything except for content management. Whenever you hear people say batch fixes in the community, people don't really go into detail about how to do it. I think I've seen just a handful of videos on YouTube as to how to do it. But I think with build CC, it's really important that you have your batch fixes in order for the game to work properly. Like I said, with almost every expansion pack, there have been things that have broken. So what we're gonna do first, yes, we're gonna go through every single one of these to fix the CC that we just downloaded. But I'm gonna start off with the most important thing, which is the updating images for DXL 11. If you are playing your game in DXL 9, that's fine. Or DX9. If you're playing your game in DX9, that's fine. But I believe in the future, The Sims 4 is not going to offer support for DX9. So it's crucial that you just go ahead and make the switch to DX11. I know it can be frustrating. I know it's gonna take a lot of time to update all of the CC in your mods folder, but eventually you're gonna have to do it. So you might as well. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna select update images, and by default, it goes into your Sims 4 mods folder. This is how mine is set up. However, I'm going to go to my downloads, and then I'm going to go to my build by. The reason that I'm going into my build by this way is because you don't want to have to manually go in and select every single one of these folders. Like I said, you're going to have to wait for each of the batch fixes to continue working. But if you put them all into one big folder, you just have to click on this big folder and it will batch fix every single piece of CC that you just downloaded. I typically like to spend a day or two just downloading lots and building CC, or excuse me, batch fixing CC, because it does take time and you might, not want to do this right before you want to play a game or, record an episode. So yeah, today just working on downloading new builds, and I'm going to batch fix this. So when you select the folder, you're going to run it and it will give you a warning. It's fixing image glitches in this. So if you're not running DXL 11, you don't run this, but go ahead and make the switch, y'all, now that you know how to fix it. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and have them run it. It can take anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours, depending on how much CC you have. So do not close the application, plug in your computer, walk away, go listen to an audiobook, go make a meal, go do exercise or something. But yeah, I'm gonna wait, and then I'll come back once the images have been updated for DXL 11. Okay, so once you're done batch fixing, you'll see this pop-up screen, pop-up window pop up, and it'll essentially show you all of the batch fixes. These are the older ones, but this is the one that I just did from today. I would definitely recommend to just delete this because it does take up space on your computer. I one time had like 10 gigabytes of batch fixes. If you do want to keep them just in case, you can, but honestly, once the batch fix is done, I just go ahead and delete the original files. Once you delete this, you can close this out, and you'll see that this is how many files were fixed. There are a handful that are unable to be fixed. I'm also going to show you how to unmerge your files at this point in time. So yeah, just wanted to show y'all the DXL option. So before we move forward with the rest of the batch fixes, I'm going to show you how to unmerge your package file. This is really important for any packages that you might see that have 2 or 3 gigabytes worth of files. I did see in the Jasmine CC file, I'm just gonna make size my top indicator, a lot of merge files. So I always make sure to unmerge because I don't want to accidentally add any outdated script files to my mods folder. I'm only going to show y'all how to unmerge one package file because there are at least 50 that I'm going to go through the process of unmerging. But once you unmerge it, this takes anywhere between 30 seconds to maybe 10 minutes. It will go to whatever unmerge folder that you choose. As y'all see, mine, I have a 50/50 methods folder with some older mods in here, but it'll basically unmerge everything that's in this folder. I'm going to search to make sure there's no script files in here or .script files, and there are not. So yeah, all of these CC items are in this merge folder. So what I did was open my build by folder in a second tab. Once I have this done, I'm going to go back in here, look and make sure that I don't see anything else that might be merged by selecting size. It looks like everything in here now is fully unmerged. Then I'm going to go to build by, go back to Jasmine's folder, select size, and I'm going to delete the merge furniture package file. The reason I'm doing this is because I am going to select all of this and then I'm going to cut and paste it into this folder. I'm going to show y'all why I'm doing this. As you see, there are already 8 files that have the same name, meaning that there were duplicate files from that one merge file. And this happens a lot with furniture CC if you merge your files. So what I'm essentially going to do for the next few minutes, I'm not going to share this now that I've already seen, now that y'all already seen how to unmerge, but I'm going to go to every single one of these folders and unmerge every single merge package file. In this rooms to go folder, I left 2 files that I am not going to put in my game. It's okay for me if I'm missing CC, but I did realize that there might be some outdated script files in both of these package files. I've used them before in my game and they're pretty outdated. They're from, I believe, 2022 or like even before then. And a lot of builders have them, but I don't necessarily want to have those merge files in my game. So for me personally, I never include these 2 anymore in my mods folder now that I'm building a new one. And I'm going to keep those out because if you go, and I'm going to show y'all why, if you try to unmerge these files, I'm just going to try the decor one since that's the most common one. It's going to say that it was not merged with a version of the studio that supports unmerging. So that's how old these files are. I personally do not want any files in my game that I can't fully unmerge. I think the surface one has the same thing. So I personally leave them out of my mods folder when downloading them because if I have them in there, there's no way for me to actually check and see what content I'm putting into my folder. And I don't want to run that risk. So yeah, if you want to, you guys can also do what I'm going to do and continually unmerge every single one of these files. Once you're done doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how we can finally add these mods or these builds into our game. So a quick disclaimer, because I know I just said that I don't want to add merge files into my mods folder. I do make a few exceptions for certain creators. So PC, I think it's Peacemaker or something like that. They do create merge files with all of their custom content into one file. So when you try to open these, it'll say this, but you don't have to worry. There's no other content that's in these folders besides their CC. So if you see like Atwood Living, Linux Kitchens, Roar, Kids Bedroom, or excuse me, Hampton Hideaways, if you try to unmerge them, you can't, but it's because the creator already merged all of their CC into that one folder. So I'm not going to delete these. I'm going to keep these in here. But like I said, the ones that I can unmerge, like that one's another merge folder. The ones that I can unmerge, I already have. And I'm going to go ahead and put that into the Jasmine Raditz folder. And once again, continue doing that for all of the other custom content builders that I'm using in this video. At this point, most of your folders should be a little bit bigger because you've unmerged all of the merge files and you should have a few more pieces of custom content. Like I said, the reason that I do this is because I think that the batch fixes work a bit better on unmerged CC versus on the bigger merged files. So we're gonna go in and finally do our object batch fixes. This is to fix any issues that you may face with beds, chairs, TVs, dishwashers, and more. I do do think this is essential to making sure that your game is working properly and that your builds are functioning without any errors. So I'm going to start at the bottom and go up with fixing the bed slots. Once again, it's going to set your default to your mods folder. You're just going to hit browse. You're going to go back to your build by folder in downloads, and then you're going to just select the folder. Here, you can copy and paste this so that you don't have to constantly travel back to it. All you have to do is hit Control A and then Control C, but you're gonna hit run. These take a lot less time because it's for specific types of CC. So it should take anywhere between a few minutes to maximum half an hour. But once you're done with that, I'm gonna showcase, me going through the process and just kind of speeding up each of the batch fixes moving forward. All right, so we finally made it to the very last batch fix. If you want, you should still have that batch fix folder open, but if for some reason you can't find it, all you have to do is go to content management, batch fixes, and you can just copy and paste this into your Explorer browser. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste this here, and you can find all of your batch fixes. So what I'm gonna do is just delete all of this, Control A and then delete, because it's just taking up space in your folder. And you can go through and finally start adding these to your game. What I'm going to do is just go back to here. If you hit back, you should be taken back to your build by folder. What I'm gonna do is add everyone's CC to my game. And in my mods folder at the very top, I have my build by mode. I have it already broken down based on custom content creators. So I'm going to go to Beans Builds. In the Beans Builds folder, I'm going to hit Control A, Control X, and then I'm going to copy and paste all of the CC into the Beans Builds folder. As y'all can see, there are 4 files with the same name. There are a few duplicates, which is fine because I've downloaded their other builds before. So I'm going to replace the files in case these files happen to be batch fixed. And I'm going to go and leave this Beans build folder empty in case I want to add another build down the line. For the same thing for Kiasims, I'm going to hit Control A, Control X, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Kiasims folder CC into this folder. There are more duplicates. I'm going to replace them. Same thing for SoulsisterSims. I already have a build by folder for her custom content. So I'm going to hit Control A, Control X, and then Control V. And as you'll see, there's probably going to be at least 500 duplicates. Oh, only 17. Look at that. So we're going to replace these files. And then we're going to go back to build by. And then I'm going to lastly include Earth2Barb, Control A, Control X. And then I'm going to go into my Earth2Barb folder. I've downloaded way more of her mods. So there's about 200 files. I already had that folder, or excuse me, I already had that build in my game. So just went through and batch fixed it one more time because why not? So now that our mods are officially batch fixed, unmerged, and moved to our Sims 4 mods folder, we can officially load up our Sims 4 game and move these custom lots into our save files. All right, y'all. Once you load into your save file, we're going to head to New Crest. Everyone should have access to this world, which is why I'm choosing it for today's lots. First thing you're going to do is make sure that when you go to your game options, that if you click other, you'll see that your script mods and your custom content and mods are enabled. If for some reason this box is not green, make sure that you check it, hit apply changes, and then exit your game. Don't save it, it'll automatically save the settings. But yeah, just make sure that those are enabled before you do anything else, because if you don't enable them, your lots will not work properly. Another piece of advice for any new simmers, I highly do not recommend saving your game in this world editor mode. It breaks a lot of save files, so make sure that if you do want to save any of these lots, once you finish building, load into a household and then save your game, just to avoid corrupting your save file. So, you know, just a piece of information, because it's something that a lot of simmers end up messing up and doing. So first things first, my recommendation, when you load into this world or whatever world you're in, I always recommend that you go into build mode. I know you can actually place the lot down directly from here, but I find that my lots load a lot faster when I go into build mode. So what I'm going to do is click on this 40 by 30 lot, and then I'm going to select build. Once you load into the lot, you will see an empty lot. It might be a different time of day, so just press L on your keyboard to change the lighting. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and place down the lot. You're gonna open your gallery. Once your gallery is open, if you're playing offline, it'll go straight to your library. If you are not, just go ahead and click my library at the top right corner. So in the category section, we're going to go to lots, and then you're going to select include custom content. This is where all of your custom content lots will appear. You can type in mall, since we're gonna be placing down this outdoor mall by Alexis Ariel. And as y'all can see, there are some pictures here, and all you have to do is select place lot. There'll be a pop-up that asks you if you want everything to be furnished, and we do. And then you can change the venue type. You can either keep it to the venue that it's currently at or change it to retail. So I'm going to select retail, and we're going to wait for this to load. So as y'all can see, the lot has been placed. There are a few build mode items that have been removed or substituted. Like I said, I did remove some of the merge files just for my own sake, but if you kept them in there, you might not have as many build mode items that are removed. But if you want to get rid of this grid, just press G. And as you can see, when I placed it in this lot, it's actually backwards. So I'm going to select the move option. You can hit U and then Y. And when you do that, you can turn it to face forward, and the front of the lot will finally be facing the street. So there we go. We have placed down this mall by Alexis Ariel, and we officially have the West Madison Plaza in our game. We're going to go ahead and check this out. So you have Carter's, you have Nike, you have some coffee over here, Orange Leaf, DSW, Victoria's Secret. And then if you head downstairs, if you head downstairs, you can see there is a Fashion Nova store. There is a Best Buy. There is a photo shoot area called Photo House. There is a kitchen down here. As y'all can see, I already have some things that are missing because I don't have all of the CC, but that's fine. I can always just rebuild that on my own. A nail spa. And definitely last but not least, a furniture store known as West Elm. So this lot is really great. I've always loved playing with it, and I'm glad I finally got it working in my game. If you're having any issues when placing this lot, I know it took me a while to figure out what my issues were that were causing my lot not to pop up. Not to say that any of these mods are broken, they just were not working when I placed this slot. So this is just my list of mods that I ended up removing. As of the date of this video, I'll probably pop it on the screen. I ended up having to remove all of Twisted Mexi's mods and the dark mode UI mod for this lot to finally work without any issue. So if that's something you want to test out, just go ahead and test out on your own. Not saying that those mods don't work with this build, but I just ran into issues with those. Not sure if it was maybe because of my other mods. I do have a lot of mods in my game, but just wanted to once again give y'all a heads up so you don't have to do the 50-50 method and spend hours figuring out what might be breaking your game every time you place this slot. So now that I have the Alexis Ariel build placed, I'm going to place the rest of the builds in New Crest, and then lastly show y'all how to place the SoulsisterSims apartment build in San Myshuno. San Myshuno comes with city living, so if you don't have the pack, you won't have this map. But for those of you who do and want to figure out how to place apartments, the first thing you're going to do for this SoulsisterSims build is go to Fountain View Penthouse, and you're going to go to build mode. Once in build mode, you're essentially going to place down your apartment the same way that you would place down a regular build. You're going to go to the gallery, go to your lots and include custom content. And then you're going to make sure that your 30 by 20 lot is selected. I find it's easiest if I just type in apartment, and then you will see your Soul Sister Sims apartment lot. So you're just going to go ahead and place the lot and select furnished, and make sure you have your build or your bb.move objects cheat on before placing anything, and then you're going to select yes. Now that you've placed your lot, you can go down. As y'all can see, there are some build mode CC that is not working with DXL11 or DX11, so we did not properly batch fix this. If you see this in your game, just go ahead and batch fix this piece of content again. This is the Harry clean bookshelf. I'm pretty sure I thought I batch fixed it, but maybe I missed it. This video is already long enough, so I'm not going to go through this process again, but make sure that you're batch fixing it if you do need to, so that this can show up properly in your game. But other than this, everything else is loading properly. It's just the curtains and the bookshelf. So this is just something to keep in mind. If you run into the same issue than I did, you just need to batch fix it so that it will be fixed in your game for DX11. But yeah, this is the rest of the apartment, and you're gonna do the exact same thing for Earth2Barb, but Earth2Barb is a penthouse. So I'm just gonna choose a penthouse in the City of Love to show off to y'all, and that will round us out for this video. All right, so I went ahead and selected a penthouse in the City of Love. It is the penthouse that is 20 by 15, La Suite del Flechazo, I think that's how you say it. So I'm gonna go ahead, it's a 20 by 15 lot, and select my Earth2Barb custom lot that is 20 by 15, and we're gonna place it. I already have my bb.move objects on, so I'm gonna go ahead and select yes. And once your lot is placed, as y'all can see, luckily there was nothing missing from this build. It is 3 stories, so you might get some jumping with the camera movement because it's really high up in the air. But as y'all can see, every piece of CC was able to be loaded in, and there's a nice little pool. There is it's a 3-story house, so, and there's even a little stylish elevator as well. So yeah, this is pretty much everything. I am going to hop back to my sim self and round out this video for us today. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. Like I said, I will do my best to answer as many as I can. If there is anything in this video that you might want me to go into more detail on, or if you want me to create another style of tutorial for builds or anything else in The Sims 4, feel free to let me know in the comments and I can get to work on that at some point this year. But I do want to say thank you as always for watching and supporting. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I will see y'all on the next one.